Once upon a time in a world filled with magic and danger, three young men named Rand Althor, Matt Cawthon, and Perrin Ibarra lived in a peaceful village called Emmons Field. Their lives changed when a mysterious woman named Moiraine Damodred and her bodyguard, Owlin Mandragoran, showed up. Moiraine was an Aes Sedai, a magic user, and she told them they were part of a big prophecy. They had to leave the village because dark creatures called Trollocs were hunting them. So with their friends Egwene Alvir and Nynaeve Almera, they left their home. As they journeyed, they also met Loyal, a kind giant called Ogier. Moiraine was looking for something called the Eye of the World, a powerful magical item. She believed Rand, Matt, and Perrin were keys to a bigger puzzle. The group faced many dangers and fought Trollocs and dark magic as they traveled to find the Eye of the World. In the end, Rand found out he could use magic and defeated a bad man named Agenor and another being named Ishamael, who was a leader of the Dark Ones. After this big fight, Rand and his friends went to a city called Fal Dara. There they met with the Amerlin Seat, the leader of the Aes Sedai. She told Rand that he was the Dragon Reborn, a powerful person who was born again to fight the Dark One, the ultimate bad guy. Rand didn't want to believe it, but he knew deep down it was true. Meanwhile, Matt was dealing with a cursed dagger he had taken from a place called Shadar Logoth. This dagger was making him sick and evil. The Aes Sedai tried to help him, but said that he needed to go to the White Tower, the Aes Sedai headquarters, to be fully healed. Rand, Matt, and Perrin then had their own journeys. Rand and his friends went to a place called the Great Hunt to find a magical horn that could bring heroes back from the dead. During this journey, they faced a creature called a Shanshan, who had enslaved women who could channel magic. They were also looking for the horn. Matt blew the horn in a battle, and the heroes came back to life. They helped defeat the Shanshan, and the horn was taken to a safe place. On the other side, Perrin found out he had a special ability to talk to wolves. He used this power to help protect his friends. Nynaeve and Egwene also found out they could use magic, and started learning to become Aes Sedai. They all reunited in Falm, where they fought the Shanshan and escaped back to their own lands. But the world was getting more and more dangerous, and they knew they had to prepare for bigger battles ahead. After Falm, Rand started learning how to be a leader. He knew he had to gather armies to fight the Dark One. Matt and Perrin also grew stronger and learned new skills. Matt discovered he had memories of old battles and started becoming a great fighter. Perrin married a woman named Fael and became a leader of his own group of fighters. Meanwhile, Egwene and Nynaeve went to the White Tower to learn more magic, but they found out that there was a split among the Aes Sedai, and some were bad and serving the Dark One. They had to be careful who to trust. Through all of these journeys and challenges, they started to understand their roles in the big prophecy. They were all pieces in a puzzle that would decide the fate of the world. And so they kept on going, knowing that even more dangers were waiting for them, but also knowing they had each other. The story of Rand, Matt, Perrin, Egwene, Nynaeve, and their friends was far from over, but they were ready to face whatever came next. As the friends ventured on, they learned more about the lands and peoples they had only heard of in stories. Rand went to Ter, a great city, to claim another magical weapon called Kalendor. It was said that only the true Dragon Reborn could take it. With it, Rand defeated dark creatures and even some rogue Aes Sedai. Claiming Kalendor was a big deal. Now, many people started to believe that Rand really was the Dragon Reborn. Meanwhile, Matt and Perrin had their own challenges. Matt was finally healed in the White Tower, and it was there that he discovered he had incredible luck. He used this new sense of luck in battles and gambling. He even fought and defeated powerful warriors using a quarterstaff, a long wooden stick used for fighting. Perrin, in contrast, went back to the Two Rivers, his home. There he found that Trollocs were attacking. Perrin helped defend his home and became a local hero. Egwene and Nynaeve, who were training at the White Tower, faced another kind of danger. The tower was split, with Aes Sedai choosing different sides. Some served the Dark One, and others were loyal to the Amerlin Seat. Egwene and Nynaeve had to navigate this complex situation carefully. They even went to the Isle Waste, a desert land, to find more answers. There, Egwene began training as a dreamer, a rare type of Aes Sedai who could navigate people's dreams. Rand also went to the Isle Waste. He found out he had a connection with the Isle, a tough desert people. They were waiting for their prophesized leader, he who comes with the dawn. Rand proved he was that leader by fulfilling prophecies. Now with the Isle as allies, Rand started forming his own army. He even began learning their unique way of fighting. But all was not well. Another powerful man, Ravin, controlled the nation of Andor through dark magic and manipulation. Rand decided he had to stop him. With a group of friends, he attacked Ravin's stronghold. After a fierce battle, Rand defeated him. At the same time, Nynaeve captured another rogue Aes Sedai named Mahadian, who had been causing a lot of trouble. The group then had to face the reality that the last battle with the Dark One was coming closer. They knew they needed to be united and strong. Rand started planning how to gather all the nations under one banner. Matt focused on honing his military skills, knowing that his luck and memories would play a crucial part. Perrin wanted to keep his loved ones safe, but knew he would be called upon to lead men into battle. Egwene, Nynaeve, and Elaine, a new friend who was a princess, continued their Aes Sedai training. They knew that Aes Sedai would play a vital role in the last battle. Egwene, in particular, was chosen as the new Amyrlin seat for the rebel Aes Sedai, who were against the bad ones in the White Tower. She had to lead and unite them, making hard decisions to prepare for the fight against the Dark One. As all these threads started weaving together, it was clear that the final confrontation was nearing. Everyone had grown and changed, but they all knew the most challenging tests were yet to come. They had faced betrayal, battled dark forces, and had even fought against themselves at times. But now, more united and determined than ever, they prepared to face the ultimate evil. Their story was reaching its peak, and the wheel of time kept turning. Rand continued gathering forces for the final battle, which was called Tarmon Gai'dan. He had a plan to cleanse Satan, the male half of the magical force Aes Sedai use. Satan was tainted long ago, making male magic users go insane. Rand thought that by cleansing it, he would get more allies for the upcoming battle. After facing many challenges, he succeeded. Now, men who could use magic could join him without fear of going mad. Matt, meanwhile, was swept up in a different adventure. He got caught in a city outside of time called Ebu Dar. Here, he discovered another important artifact called the Bowl of the Winds. This bowl could change the weather, and it was important because the Dark One was affecting the climate, making it too hot or too cold. Matt also met a woman named Tuon, who he found out was a Shanshan princess. The Shanshan were still a threat, but now Matt had a connection to them. Perrin faced his own set of troubles. He had to rescue his wife Fail, who was captured by a rebel group. After a long and dangerous mission, he succeeded and saved her. His ability to talk to wolves continued to grow stronger, and he knew that he and his wolf friends would play a big part in the final battle. For Egwene, Nynaeve, and Elaine, things were also heating up. Egwene led her group of Aes Sedai to lay siege to the White Tower, which was under the control of a leader not loyal to her. Through clever tactics and strong leadership, she succeeded in taking it over. She united the Aes Sedai, finally ending the split that had divided them for so long. Elaine fought to become the Queen of Andor. She faced political troubles and battles, but in the end, she was successful. She also discovered she was pregnant with Rand's babies, adding another layer to the complex situation. Nynaeve, for her part, continued to grow stronger in her abilities. She played a crucial role in cleansing Satan, supporting Rand in his monumental task. As the Wheel of Time continued its turn, things began to reach their peak. The last battle was getting closer and closer. The characters knew that they would have to face the Dark One and his most trusted allies, known as the Forsaken. These were powerful individuals who had turned to the side of evil. Battles would be fought, lives would be lost, and the world as they knew it would be forever changed. Rand, knowing the end was near, did something unexpected. He met with the leaders of all the nations and convinced them to sign a peace treaty called the Dragon's Peace. This ensured that whatever happened in the final battle, the world wouldn't fall into chaos. It was a sign of hope, a light in the dark times they were all facing. Everyone started gathering at a place called the Field of Maralor, where the final battle would take place. They set up camps, readied their weapons, and prepared for war. Each of our heroes, Rand, Matt, Perrin, Egwene, Nynaeve, and Elaine, knew they had a vital role to play. They had come a long way from their humble beginnings in Emond's Field. Now they were leaders, warriors, and magic users of great power. The air was heavy with anticipation and fear, but also with hope. Friends and allies looked at each other, knowing that the next time they met, the world would either be saved or plunged into darkness. And so, as the Wheel of Time turned, they readied themselves to face their destiny in the final, decisive battle against the Dark One. As the armies gathered at the Field of Maralor, tension filled the air. Everyone felt the weight of what was to come. Rand knew he had to face the Dark One, but he also knew he couldn't do it alone. Matt took charge of the military strategy, using his incredible luck and memories of old battles to plan. Perrin prepared to lead his wolf friends and his own troops into the thick of the fight. Each knew they had a role that only they could fulfill. Then the battle began. Waves of Trollocs, dark creatures serving the Dark One, crashed against the lines of soldiers. The air was filled with the sounds of swords clashing, arrows flying, and magic crackling. Egwene, now a fully realized Amyrlin seat, led the Aes Sedai, who rained magical attacks on the enemy. Nynaeve and Elaine, wielding their own powerful magic, healed the wounded, and attacked the foes. Perrin entered the Wolf Dream, a magical place connected to the real world. He had to fight Slayer, a deadly enemy, to protect the dream from being used against them. After a fierce battle, Perrin emerged victorious. His role in the Wolf Dream was crucial because it was also linked to the last battle. Matt, on the other hand, led troops on the field with the Horn of Valere, which summoned ancient heroes to fight alongside them. His tactical genius was on full display, turning the tide multiple times. But the key to all of this was Rand, who entered the Boar, a magical rift where he could confront the Dark One. It was a battle of wills more than a physical fight. They clashed in a place beyond time and space, where the very fabric of reality seemed to bend. Rand had to make a crucial choice. He realized that killing the Dark One would unbalance the world, taking away people's ability to choose between good and evil. So instead, he sealed the Dark One away, repairing the Boar and ensuring that the cycle of time would continue. As Rand did this, something incredible happened. All around the world, people felt a surge of hope and strength. It was as if the very land knew that the Dark One had been defeated. Slowly, the forces of darkness began to retreat, and it became clear that the light had won. In the aftermath, our heroes found themselves in different places. Rand, who had swapped bodies with another man who died in the battle, left quietly, choosing to explore the world anonymously. Matt stayed with the Shanshan, becoming a high-ranking general and husband to Tuon. Perrin became a leader in the Two Rivers, settling down with Fael to live a peaceful life. Elaine ruled Andor and Carrion, giving birth to Rand's children who, it was prophesied, would be important in the future. Egwene had sacrificed herself in the battle to unleash a magical attack that broke the enemy lines. She became a symbol of courage and unity for the Aes Sedai, who continued to rebuild. Nynaeve remained a powerful Aes Sedai, dedicating her life to healing and helping others. Each had walked a long, challenging road, filled with trials that tested their limits. But they had survived, and more than that, they had grown. They were no longer the naive youths from a small village. They were heroes whose tales would be told for generations to come. As they each went their separate ways, the world itself seemed to breathe a sigh of relief. The wheel of time would keep turning, but for now, the age had come to an end, and a new one would begin. And so, our story closes, leaving the heroes to explore new paths and face new challenges, forever etched into the pattern of the wheel. The end was a new beginning, and the wheel turned on. While the main story of the Wheel of Time closed with the defeat of the Dark One, the lives of our heroes didn't stop. Although the saga as we know it came to an end, the Wheel of Time keeps turning, leading to new ages and new stories. Let's imagine what these might look like. Rand, in his new body, was free to wander the world. No longer burdened by his role as the Dragon Reborn, he sought to understand the regular lives of people, something he had missed out on. He had seen kings and queens, but now he wanted to know farmers and merchants. Yet, his ability to channel was gone. Rand had to adjust to this new way of life, but he welcomed it, eager to explore what the world had to offer. Matt remained in the Shanshan Empire, adjusting to life as a royal consort to Tuon. His tactical genius and uncanny luck made him a valuable asset in the Shanshan army. Matt never lost his love for games of chance, and he would often be seen rolling dice with common soldiers. But even as he did, he carried the responsibility of being a leader, helping to shape a more just Shanshan society, one less reliant on enslaving those who can channel. Perrin and Fael settled into their roles as Lord and Lady of the Two Rivers. But for Perrin, life wasn't just about ruling. He had his wolf friends to think about. He found a way to balance both worlds, often roaming the forests both in the real world and the Wolf Dream. His leadership was not just felt by humans, he was a guardian to wolves as well, protecting their habitat and allowing them to live freely. Egwene's impact lived on in the White Tower. The Aes Sedai had a newfound sense of unity and purpose after the last battle. Nynaeve took it upon herself to make sure Egwene's legacy was honored. She introduced reforms in the Aes Sedai's approach to healing, blending different forms of knowledge. With Lan by her side, she also worked to rebuild Malkir, a fallen kingdom that Lan was heir to. Elaine's rule over Andor and Carrion was strong and just. With twins on the way, she had the future to think about too. The twins born from her and Rand were expected to be powerful channelers, and they would need guidance. Elaine prepared for this task by focusing on how to be not just a ruler, but also a mother. She knew that her children would grow up in a world of great expectations. So, while the last battle had been won and the immediate threat was over, life moved on. Our heroes had roles to play in rebuilding and shaping a new world. Their deeds became legends, stories told to inspire others. The Dark One was sealed away, but evil could never be completely eradicated. There would be new challenges, but also new heroes to rise and face them. And in this way, The wheel of time keeps on turning, never breaking, always bringing new patterns while echoing the old ones.